Okay, so we'll start with the breath meditation and drop into the breath, and let's just see where that takes us. Sit up tall, little thunderbolt or easy pose, whichever works for you. Drop into the sensation of the breath. As soon as you are aware of your breath, as soon as you're feeling it, as soon as you got it in your somatic awareness, start breathing a little bit deeper and notice where the breath falls into the body easily. What fills up easily? What feels good easily? These are areas where we already feel, we already have vibrant capacity. So it's good to notice those. It's good to celebrate those. So breathe into where it's easy. And notice how deep a breath you can take into the easy spaces and what the sensation is like, what arises in your somatic awareness when it starts to feel like you're reaching an edge. Now that edge might be felt in several different ways, a variety of different ways. It could feel like just a limit in your breathing capacity. If you're really all the way open and then you're just reaching the top of your inhale and there's not anywhere else to go. It could be that you encounter something that's adjustable with your posture. You might draw the chin in or tilt the shoulders a certain way or tilt the pelvis, lengthen the back, and that can create space for the breath where maybe you were feeling some resistance. You might find the inner container of the breath pressing against some physicality inside your body. Maybe it's the low ribs, maybe it's the kidney space, maybe it's the base of the neck. Could be down in the sacrum. You might find that you're encountering an emotional. You might even not recognize it as emotional. It just might feel like something heavy or some kind of resistance in your body. That could be in the belly, it could be in the heart. It might be aligned, you might correlate that with a chakra perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a clear emotion, or you might find it that it brings to mind or it feels similar to a condition in your life, like what it feels like when you're frustrated at work, or what it feels like when you're caught in traffic, or what it feels like when you're late. Could be anything. But breathe, starting where it's easy, filling in, and noticing what you bump up against. And have compassion for what you bump up against. See if you can bring the power of the harnessed breath, where the breath has come into the body easily, where you are already strong. And bring that gently to bear on whatever resistance you're encountering in the breath. by consciously choosing to direct the pressure of the breath from within the inner container, to direct the inner container to press gently into or squeeze gently into resistance, you might find that resistance can dissolve if you let it, right? You actually have to choose to unbrace in that place, and then the breath can penetrate. This breathing meditation is a discipline that pays big dividends. I encourage you to stay with it and practice it on your own. There are many opportunities to explore the power of the breath to reshape the inner landscape. You can do it when you're in the car, you can do it when you're waiting in line at the store, you can do it in a meeting. All right, let's roll the shoulders a little bit. Let's take the arms out to the sides. Do a little band warming in the wrists and fingers first. And the forearms and the elbows, twisting. Okay, let's, you know what, I'm torn between wanting to do one of two things. Let's come on up to standing, so tabletop to supported squat. One hand to each thigh. Just a little shake left and right when you're supported squat. And then come up fairly high, right? We're going to stay in a gentle horse because we're going to do our torsions, right? So dropping down into your horse a little bit. Take your left arm out, turn the palm up, rotating, external rotation of that upper arm as much as possible. See if you can get the thumb even tilting down a little bit. The right arm out to the side, drop the thumb down. See if you can roll it over, internal rotation of the upper arm as far as you can go. Okay, look over your left arm, big inhale. Exhale, unwind everything back to the midline. Inhale, look right, big twist. Exhale, back to the midline. Inhale, twist. Roll the shoulder over, feel it. Exhale, back to the midline. Inhale, twist. Exhale, back to the midline. Inhale, twist. Now, you can add more to this by twisting through the chest as well. So exhale to the midline, inhale, twist. And as you drop this shoulder down, add a little back to it, right? Feel that stretch. Maybe you get that stretch coming all the way down to the hip. Exhale to the midline. Inhale, twist. You can get your torso involved here. Exhale to the midline. Inhale, twist. Exhale to the midline. Inhale, twist. Exhale to the midline. Inhale, twist. Exhale to the midline and release. Let's get some shoulders going here. So as we pay attention to the shoulders first, noticing the geometry of the shoulder joint as you bring the arms up in front, carefully managing any kind of vulnerability as you draw the shoulders up and back. Go slow. One elbow on top, then the other, each time around. And noticing the distinctions, the difference on each side, feeling the clicks and clacks down your back. That's collagen fibers that are fascia that are trying to release, trying to get unstuck. And so as we work through this in the shoulders, we can start to bring more awareness into the chest, the ribs, in the front, going around in this direction. So we have this opportunity to stretch the ribs, stretch all these tissues up and back. And then when you take the arms wide, you're opening up the ribs towards to the sides. All right, one more time around with each arm on top. And then just take a little break here, soft, maybe you shake your arms out. We're going to go in the other direction. All right, arms back, inhaling. Now, let the peak of your inhale come here, so you have an opportunity to stretch the back body. Maybe you tuck your chin a little bit. Couple more times around. All right, let's release. Shake the arms out. We haven't really gotten the legs warm yet, so let's make some figure eights with the hips. Starting where it's warm, building warmth first. Pressing into the edges as you warm up. And by the way, good morning and thank you for coming. It's good to see you guys. Okay, so just drop back into that idea that this is the new moon. So here we are in a position where we're, for the most part, we're pretty competent and confident in the grounding in our feet as we move our hips. So we feel like we've got reasonable strength, reasonable game here. Where in your life do you want to feel more like this? Fluid, strong, balanced, in command of your energy in ways that deliver good sensation in your body and in your life. Where do you want to feel like this more? So if you close your eyes and just think, I want to feel this good. I want to feel this powerful. I want to feel this capable more around, could be something as simple as your to-do list, or something as specific as getting your irrigation system working in your garden, which is what I'm going to be doing after class today. Could have to do with your relationships or with your self-confidence. Let's change directions. Always good to be able to go in the other direction too. Feeling into exploring and celebrating your mobility, your flexibility, your strength, and your balance, and your ability to sustain yourself here. The fact that you're able to command your body in this way, and that it responds gracefully and maybe even enthusiastically. All right, let's come to neutral. Take the feet a little wider apart, drop into supported squat. We'll do some more twisting here. Wise owl. So with the feet pointed more or less straight forward, can be pointed out a little bit. With the qigong practices, the toes, the angles can be a little bit more open than in classical yoga. So we're going to drop the left shoulder down, press the left hand into the left thigh, look over the right shoulder, and after you've dropped everything down, then take your inhale. Feel what's available here. Feel the stretch. Exhale back to neutral. Leave the breath empty. Twist the other way, pressing the right hand into the right thigh, looking over the left shoulder, dropping the right shoulder down. Take a nice big inhale. Once you're in your twist, feel that. Exhale back to neutral. Twist with the breath empty. Drop the shoulder down. Big inhale. Exhale back to neutral. Twist while empty. Big inhale. Exhale back to neutral. Twist while empty. Big inhale. Exhale back to neutral. Twist, then inhale. Exhale to neutral. Twist, then inhale. Exhale to neutral. Twist, inhale. Exhale back to neutral. One more each side. Twist in. Neutral out. Twist in. Neutral out. Okay, take your hands away. Let's rock back and forth. Now remember, if you take your knee outside your ankle, you got to go slow. You want to feel that vulnerability. You want to master the sensation and have control, because that's vulnerable terrain out there. When you enter into vulnerable terrain, you do it from a position of strength and control. You don't have to go that far, by the way. You can keep that knee inside or just above the ankle. All right, let's press the hips back, come into a wide-legged forward fold. Rock the hips left and right with the legs straight, drawing the
Left groin towards the right ankle, the right groin towards the left ankle with each shift. Feeling into the stretch that's there. Okay, heels in, toes in. Come into a forward fold. Walk your forward fold a little bit here. We'll come back here later, I think. Pressing the weight into the straight side heel, pressing the straight side hip back. Maybe offering the side belly a little bit towards the sky on the straight side. We're gonna walk ourselves down to plank in a second, so take the stretch here that you feel like you want to get. And then walk the body back to plank. Find your plank. Nice and sturdy here. Straight line from ankle to shoulders. Just take a few breaths. As you settle into your plank, lengthen through your upper chest. Slight tuck of the tail to keep the small of the back flat. Breathe. External rotation of the upper arms, chaturanga. Nice and easy. Bring the weight forward into the palms. Gentle upward dog to start. And then tuck the chin, lift the hips, bring yourself into downward dog. Walk your dog a little bit. Pressing one heel down, then the other. Feeling that stretch in the calf. Blossoming from the belly of the calf down towards the heel, maybe up towards the back of the knee. Give yourself a couple of heartbeats in that blossoming phase. Let's come forward to plank one more time. Feel a little core engagement here. External rotation of the upper arms, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Shoulders out of the ears, chest forward, feeling into the sensations in the low back. Engage the glutes, press the hips down a little bit to protect the low back. Draw the chin slightly in. Feel the transition to downward dog. Tuck your chin, lift, crunch at the belly. What are the sensations here as we move? Press your chest towards your toes, lift your tail. And take your right leg straight up. Bend the knee. Loft the knee. Twist and stack the hips. Reach with the leg. Exhale, square the hips fully, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend the knee, loft, twist, and stack. Reach with that foot if you can. Press down into both hands evenly. Exhale, square the hips fully, straighten the leg. One more. Bend the knee, loft, twist, and stack. Reach. Press down into both hands, chest towards the toes. Feel that stretch through the side belly and the side hip. Exhale, square the hips fully, straighten the leg. One breath here in your three-legged dog. In. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, knees to the mat, hips to heels. Release the wrists. Let's roll the wrists. Feeling into power and strength. Where is the power and strength in your wrists? Feeling into the range of motion.
exploring some territory energizing some territory that maybe you haven't explored in a while. And let's go to the other side. First to tabletop, then to downward dog. Press your chest towards your toes. Lift your tail. Try to keep this alignment in place. All right, there's more going on here than just lifting the leg. We want to keep the form as best we can. Left leg comes straight up. Keep the hips square. Bend the knee. Loft the knee. Twist and stack the hips. Reach with the leg. Press down into both hands. Both hands evenly. Feel that weight in the left hand just as much. Exhale, square the hips fully, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend, loft, twist and stack, reach with the leg. Feel that stretch in the side ribs, side belly. Exhale, square the hips fully, straighten the leg. Last one. Inhale, bend, loft, twist, stack, reach. Exhale, square the hips fully, straighten the leg. Take one breath in here. Press the chest towards the toes. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath here, in. Exhale, knees to the mat, hips to heels, release the wrists, stretch the bottoms of your feet. Okay, let's come down to the mat. We'll lay down on our backs. We haven't done these in a while, so let's see if we can enjoy them. Okay, arms out to the sides. First, just feel your back flat on the mat. Feel the small of your back pressed into the mat, knees in the air. All right, now let's take the legs straight up. Nice, clear right angle between the hips and the torso. Notice what muscles are working here. Now let's take both legs 30 degrees to the left. Just come over the ridge in your pelvis and then pause right there. If you need to bend your knees to keep your thighs vertical or at a right angle with your torso, bend your knees a little bit. Back to neutral. Take an inhale. 30 degrees to the right, just across the ridge of the pelvis. Feel yourself there. And back to neutral. 60 degrees left, across the ridge and onto the plateau. Feel yourself there. Again, keep that right angle between the thigh and the torso. Slowly draw yourself back to neutral. 60 degrees to the right, across the ridge onto the plateau. Feel yourself there. And back to neutral. 89 degrees left. That's all the way down, just not touching. Different muscles have to work now. Hold yourself there. And remember, the first 12 to 18 inches are the most important ones here. Slowly back to vertical. 89 degrees to the right. Feel what it's like to be here. And slowly back to neutral. Bend the knees, let the feet rest on the mat. Release, relax. Got a little bit more to do here. I'm going to take the legs straight up. 30 degrees left. Across the ridge and hold. And back to neutral. 30 degrees right across the ridge and hold. And back to neutral. 60 degrees left, way out onto the plateau. Be strong here. Slowly back to neutral. 60 degrees right, out onto the plateau. And slowly back to neutral. 89 degrees left. All the way down, just not touching. Hold yourself firm here. Remember, the first 12 to 18 inches are the most important. Coming up nice and slow through that challenging space. Back to neutral. 89 degrees to the right. Hold yourself right off the edge of the mat. Just off the floor. And slowly draw yourself up, slow, through that challenging spot. Back to neutral. And then take the soles of the feet to the mat, release, relax. Breathe easy. Okay, we're going to start working on bridge now. So sorry, I'm adjusting my costume here. My wardrobe. Okay. So let's start by just adjusting the soles of the feet on the mat, knees in the air, middle fingers just about touching the heels, knees no wider than hip width apart. Okay, so let's start by tilting the pelvis, top of the pelvis towards the mat, pressing the small of the back into the mat. Just want you to feel into that movement. Just that all by itself, right? Now, we don't often think of this as being part of bridge, but I actually feel like it's important to remember to press the small of the back into the mat with this tilt of the pelvis. Okay, so we've gotten used to this sensation. Now we're going to pause with that and engage the Mula Bandha. So squeezing the muscles of the pelvic floor from the pubic bone to the tailbone, in and up into the body. And now with the Mula Bandha firmly in place, again, press the small of the back into the mat and then release. Press and release. Right? Keeping the Mula Bandha in place. Holding the Mula Bandha in place while we move can actually be a little bit challenging. So it's good to practice. Okay. Now, I want you to relax everything slowly. Notice what sensations arise as you relax the hips, the low back, the glutes, and the Mula Bandha. Take a breath, one easy breath here. And now let's engage the Mula Bandha first. And as if you're getting ready to lift your hips, don't lift your hips yet. Just press the small of the back into the mat and feel the first set of muscles engage as you firm up through the hips, through the glutes, to get ready to bear the load that comes when you lift the hips off the mat. And just feel that. Should be easier to hold the Mula Bandha in place here with this intention, with this engagement of the intention to rise, to lift the hips. The Mula Bandha should feel a little firmer here. Now I want you to, while we're here, while we're in this proto-bridge mode, right? We're ready and engaged. We're on the launch pad, but we haven't lit anything up. We've just sort of warmed the engines. What do you feel in the front body at the hip crease and below? So from the hip crease to the pubic bone, the low abs, what do you feel there? You feel almost a hollowing out or spaciousness there? If you do, let that sink a little deeper. You may notice as you let that or encourage that to sink a little deeper, there's this subtle, almost subliminal, unconscious lifting of the hips, or the desire to lift the hips. So let's go ahead and give in to that desire. Lift the glutes, the hips slowly off the mat. The small of the back is peeling off the mat from the bottom up. Keeping the glutes engaged, drawing the energy in the glutes from the mid glutes towards the high glutes as we start to lift more of the back body off the mat. You can feel how the musculature in the glutes engages and changes. Now start to bring your awareness to the muscles in the low back. So here we are, we're at a place where the ribs are still on the mat. Maybe the hips are almost flat. Feel into the low back muscles. Just hover here for a moment or two, a breath or two. Feeling into the muscles of the low back. And then as we start to lift the first set of ribs, back ribs off the mat, pressing the belly skyward, you can start to feel the low back muscles even more. And notice where they engage. Are they engaging closer to the sacrum? Are they engaging closer to the kidneys? What's happening in your back, in the small of your back? Keep lifting. You're going to get to a point where it makes sense for you to start walking your shoulder blades underneath, interlace your fingers, and place your weight into your upper arms, pressing your triceps into the mat. Lift the whole front body, lift the back body off the mat. Firmly engaged from tailbone, Mula Bandha included, all the way up into the shoulder blades. Feel the muscles in the back body. Don't just focus on one spot in the back. Feel the whole thing. Kidneys, back ribs. Now we're going to come down one vertebrae at a time. Feel what muscles are releasing as you drop the heart space down. Move the shoulders out of the way, shoulder blades out of the way, the upper arms out of the way. Pressing one vertebrae at a time down into the mat. Where's the release happening? Where's the engagement still present? Remembering that we're going to tuck the tail here to press the small of the back into the mat a little at a time. We don't want to drop the glutes down to the mat before the small of the back comes down. So get the small of the back down first. Keep the Mula Bandha engaged. You may have released it inadvertently here. And then notice how long it takes the glutes to completely relax as you get yourself all the way back down to the ground. Keep the Mula Bandha engaged as you restore your breath. Notice whether it's possible for you to engage the Mula Bandha a little bit more energetically. And again, press the small of the back into the mat. We're getting ready to lift. Feel the engagement the preparatory proto-bridge moment where you're ready to lift, but you haven't yet. You've engaged the muscles. Feel into the front belly, the front body, the low belly. What do you feel there? Can you let it soften and sink? Can you hollow it out a little bit? Start to lift the back body by further tucking the tail and lifting the hips off the mat, peeling the small of the back off the mat a little at a time. Feeling the front body here, feeling into that low belly. Feel into the hollow there if you can. And then as you get the small of the back fully off the mat, you can start to press down into the feet, slowly continuing to one vertebrae at a time. Lift the spine off the mat. This starts with the low ribs. Working your way up further to the heart space. You get to the heart space, it's time to interlace the fingers and walk the upper arms underneath so that the shoulder blades can come up and you can press your heart space skyward. The whole spine all the way up to the base of the neck can come off the mat. Press down into your feet, engage the glutes, press the hips wide open here. Feel into the muscles in the back body, all of them. From tailbone all the way, Mula Bandha included, all the way up to the heart space. Feel it. Kidneys, back ribs, feel those muscles. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, from the heart space down, bring the back body down to the mat. Feeling the disengagement, feeling what remains engaged as you take the upper arms out from underneath the body. Remember, the small of the back comes down slowly and it rolls itself down. Doesn't land all at once. You got to keep the hips, the tail tucked, the hips off the mat. And then keep the Mula Bandha engaged as you relax everything else. Breathe into that. Here we are. We're going to do this one more time. Mula Bandha engaged. Press the small of the back into the mat. Prepare yourself to lift. Feel that proto-bridge moment. Proto-bridge engagement. You are not lifting yet, but we're ready to. Feel into the low belly in the front. See if there's an opportunity to hollow that out a little bit with your exhale. Tuck the tail underneath. Start lifting the hips. Peel the small of the back off the mat. Working that curve slowly up the spine. That lift slowly up the spine. Glutes engaged. Muscles in the low back, right at the pelvis. Engage. Squeezing all that stuff inward towards the midline. Mula Bandha helps us do that. One vertebrae at a time through the rib space. You get to the heart space, interlace the fingers, walk the upper arms underneath the body, press further up. Now press the hips open, engage the glutes. Press down into your feet. Lift the front body up. Stay here for a few breaths. Sustainable, right? What is your authentic capacity here? Breathe. Notice where you're fatiguing first. Notice where you can add a little energy to add a little bit more fatigue in places where you're stronger. You can make it a little bit more challenging in those places. Draw your knees in, maybe. That's a place where you can add a little exertion. Okay, one more inhale here. And then one vertebrae at a time. Control this on the way down so you really feel. We've engaged a lot of exertion. See if you can feel the disengagement in a really sweet, juicy way. the relief that comes from disengaging. One vertebrae at a time, small of the back, little at a time. Tail stays tucked, Mula Bandha stays engaged all the way down. And notice how long it takes for the glutes to fully disengage. Keep the Mula Bandha in place. And now release the Mula Bandha too. Just a few breaths here. Easeful breaths. Okay, let's extend the right leg on the mat and take the left leg, draw the thigh to the belly, wrap your hands around the shin. Now, let's externally rotate that thigh so the left knee turns out. Maybe you grab the left ankle with the right hand and draw that leg in towards the belly, the ankle in towards the belly. If this works for you, if this is enough for you, great, stay right here. If you want more, you can raise your right leg, press the right thigh against the left ankle, thread the needle, wrapping your hands around the shin or the thigh, the right shin or the right thigh, and draw the right thigh towards the belly, stretching the left glute and the left hip. This is a nice way to release after bridge. Breathe into this sensation here. All right, one more big breath in here. And gently release the hands. Hold the right leg in place long enough so that you can gracefully release the leg, extend the leg down to the mat, and then unwind the left leg, extend both legs down to the mat, and relax. All right, let's bend the right knee. Hug the right thigh into the belly. Hands around the outside of the shin. And then with the left hand, reach down, grab the bottom of the right foot, turn the right knee out to the side. Feel into that. And if that's where you want to stay, you can hang out right there. Or if you want more, you can hinge up with the left leg, press the left thigh against the right ankle. Thread the needle with your hands, wrap your hands around the back of the thigh or the front of the shin, and draw that ankle towards the heart space. Choose how much load to apply here. You want this sensation to be just the right level of intensity. Breathe and relax. one more luxurious breath in. Gracefully, gently releasing the hands, holding the leg in place as you release the hands, and then releasing the leg. Left leg goes down to the mat. Right leg unwinds. Right leg goes down to the mat. Very gently extending the legs. And relax just for a moment. Okay, we're going to find our way to tabletop. So draw your knees up and roll onto one side or the other. And find your way to tabletop. Press your hips up into downward dog. Just feel a little stretch here. Press your chest towards your toes. Walk your dog a little. Take the feet out to the sides for a wide-legged forward fold. Hinge at the hips, rock from side to side. Now we're going to use this wide-legged forward fold first to come into pyramid. So take your right foot, pivot on your right heel, right toes pointing forward. Your left foot, pivot on your left heel, left toes pointing forward. Okay, sorry, that cueing wasn't particularly clear. I want you to end up with your right foot in front, leg straight, toes pointed forward, left foot back, left heel off the mat, toes pointed forward. So we're in pyramid here, hinging over the front knee. Now, there's a lot of sensations available in pyramid. We don't often explore much more than the back of the leg and the hip. But if you tuck your chin here and draw your chest towards your knee, you'll find a back stretch available here. If you square your hips, you'll find a little bit more sensation in the glute. Okay, bend the front knee, drop the back knee down to the mat. Drift the hips forward. Feel the stretch in the hip flexor. Just the right amount. We don't need to bully the body here. It's Friday. All right, straighten the front leg. Lift the toes, point the toes towards your nose. We're not going to do full 6 variables here, but you can add a little ankle turn here, a little rotation of the thigh in. Offer your head to your knee. A little bit more squaring of the hips, maybe a little twist here, just to get the IT band activated across that extended leg. Okay, bend the front knee. Bring the front foot down to the mat. Curl the back toes under, raise the back knee. Twist back to that wide-legged forward fold. And now we'll go the other way. So we're going to rotate the left toes towards out, the right heel up and back. Square the hips over the left leg.
and you're in your pyramid. Square the hips a little bit. Draw that right hip slightly forward and down. Feel that extra stretch through the side of the leg, the glute, the back. Tuck your chin. Offer your head down towards your knee. Feel that back stretch. Breathe deep. Let the breath take you in a little bit deeper into this sensation. One more breath here. And then bend the front knee. Drop the back knee down to the mat. Straighten the front knee. Lift the toes. Point the toes towards your nose. Rotate the thigh in a little bit. Maybe square your hips. Maybe rotate the thigh in. Just a little bit, like mini 6 variables here. What's the sensation you want to feel? What's the stretch that's going to feel most awesome right now? Couple more breaths here. And bend the front knee. Bring the foot down to the mat. Curl the back toes under. Raise the back knee. Rotate yourself back to that wide-legged forward fold. And then walk the toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in. Feet hip-width apart. Standing forward fold. Head is heavy, neck is long, shoulders are loose. Walk your forward fold. Pressing the weight into the straight side heel, pressing the straight side hip back, feeling the stretch in the glutes, in the low back. If you are ready and feel like you want to drop the elbows down, draw the elbows down towards the mat, hinging more at the hips. And feel that stretch through the side of the back. Maybe you rotate the side belly, side ribs out to the side a little bit or up a little bit, depending on what you want to feel here. I'm pushing more out to the sides today than I am twisting up. Just want to feel that side expansion. You know what? Actually, I want to start twisting up too. This always feels so delicious to me in all the different ways that I can make this happen. All right, hang right out in the middle then. Come to neutral. Lift the tail. Press the weight back into the heels. Feel that tail lift. Bend your knees if you need to. All right, take the hands to the mat. Bring the knees down to the mat. Let's come down to a seat. We'll do a wide-legged forward fold just for a little bit. Take the feet out wide. Hands start behind the hips so that you can get the top of your pelvis tilted forward. Now, we're familiar with this sensation because we did it with bridge, right? We pressed the belly forward. Now, as you walk your hands forward, bringing your center of gravity more over your sits bones, feeling into the place where your resistance begins. Pause when you encounter your resistance. Soften.
Soften. If your body allows you to lean forward into this, go ahead and lean in. Stay soft though. The goal is softness. Engage that stretch resistance sensation just the right amount so that you can contemplate softening. It's not such a intense signal that you can't really do anything about it. Be right at the front edge and melt. A few more breaths here. Let yourself soften. Always softening. Changing the angle, the weight, the load distribution so that you can soften. Softening wherever you need to soften first. One more big inhale here. And bring your body back up to neutral. And use your hands to help bend your knees. Draw the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. And hinge a little bit forward. This will give us an opportunity to feel a little bit deeper stretch because with those legs straight, it's really hard to hinge down here. Let's get a little deeper. Maybe something that wasn't quite accessible in your wide-legged forward fold is now more accessible here. All right, press your body up. Draw the hands, use your hands to draw the knees in. Let's roll down onto our backs. Arms out to the sides. Windshield wiper the knees to the right. Look left. Reach with both arms towards the sides of the room. Big inhale into your back body. Feel that stretch. Exhale. Windshield wiper the knees to the left. Look right. Big inhales, big stretch into the back body. Back to neutral. Windshield wipers to the right. Look left. Stretch to the sides of the room. Big inhale. And once more to the left. Look right. Reach. Big breath in. Bring the knees to neutral. Happy baby. Oh. Rock from side to side. Pull down on your feet. Feel that stretch. Can you flatten the small of your back into the mat here? Can you bring your sacrum down? If not, it's okay, but just it's an idea. Here again, we can soften a little bit. All right.
right, let's extend the legs long on the mat for Shavasana. Feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Ankles and thighs soft and relaxed. Palms up. Shoulder blades flattened into the mat. Slight tuck of the chin to create length in the back of the neck. A few breaths here, recognizing the energy of your practice. Feeling the energy of your practice, letting it soak into your body systems. Becoming part of your somatic recall. Knowing you can feel this energy, this capacity, this power, flexibility, and strength just by remembering. And you can apply this strength to any intention you are working on this month to expand, empower, adjust the circumstances of your life. And feeling this energy in your body, begin to allow gravity to do the work. Attending to the sensations of your breath as a way to fill and soften the body into harmony with gravity. Forehead, eyelids and eyes, cheeks and chin. Tip of your nose and your ears. Let it all melt. Check in with the collarbones, the heart, front and back ribs, shoulders and shoulder blades. Let that all sink. Release any tension down to the earth. Same to the forearms, wrists, and palms. That whole collection from fingertip to heart. Let it all melt. The belly and back. Down to the hips, the bowl of the pelvis, outsides of the hips, the thighs, the glutes, pelvic floor, all settling in with gravity. Thighs, knees, calves, and feet sinking.
chest back to your breath. Feel the coolness of the breath entering into the body through your nose. Feel it flowing down the back of your throat along the front aspect of your spine, past your heart space, through your belly, all the way down to your root. A cool breeze all the way down. Can you touch all the way down to your root with that coolness? Wiggle your fingers and toes. Flex your wrists and ankles. Take your arms up overhead. Nice big reach, gentle reach. Big inhale. Make fists. Squeeze the fists. Bend the fists in. Stretch the back of your wrists and forearms. Engage triceps and shoulders with a gentle squeeze. Chest and back with a squeeze. Belly, squeeze. Hips, glutes, and thighs, squeeze. Reach, big inhale. Exhale, release. Roll onto your left side and draw your knees up into a gentle fetal position for just a breath or two. And keeping your belly soft, press down with your right hand, then your left. Use your arms to walk your body up, and we'll close. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Two more. Inhale, arms up. Activate the fingers, reach. Sweet spring breath. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last one. Keep drawing the breath in even after you're full. Arms up. Reach back. Lift the chest. Open the side ribs. Keep the breath open at the top. Big inhale. Feel that breath blossom. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's take our hands to our forehead as a reminder to practice the power of kind thoughts. And to our lips as a reminder to practice the power of kind words. To our hearts as a reminder to practice kind intention and kind action. For this gorgeous morning in this magnificent part of the world with such lovely company and such fascinating times, and for this precious practice, I am truly grateful. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me.